Trying to use solar power to produce fresh water, archaeological evidence shows in these deserts 5,000 years ago, people would put saltwater bowls inside of a stone building and collect the condensate off the walls of the building. We've taken a completely different approach. For 5,000 years, this process has been basically neglected. Nobody could get anything useful out of it. We'll revolutionize that, and it's rising out of the desert in China. We start with some seawater, in this case for our demonstration. We're piping and we're trucking in seawater into that tank. And the heart of the process are these modules. This is a version of solar desalination. It's never been seen before outside of our work and the process work that we're doing. The classic solar still is basically a greenhouse over a pool of water, and it produced about 25%, converted about 25% of the solar energy to water. It expresses pure water, so only about 25% efficiency. We took that process apart step by step and have now put it back together again in a way that avoids some of the problems that have caused this process to have such a bad reputation and such low performance over the years. We bring sun in through glass. It does not condense on our glass like it does on the classic solar steel. We evaporate from a very thin film of cascading salt water. That increases the evaporation rate. We condense on cold water. That is a very efficient way rather than using the hot air on the outside for condensation. And we take the energy that cold water picks up during the day, store it overnight, and overnight when the desert temperature drops, that solar energy comes back out again in our process that's distilled. So we take the solar energy twice. And that means our efficiency. Classic solar steel will make about 2 or 3 liters per square meter per day. Our steel runs more like 10 to 12 liters per square meter per day. Much more efficient. They're designed for industrial production. What we see this site as is a demonstration of what can be done with seawater and sunshine to produce enough water for a family and to produce for their farming and agriculture needs too. One of those modules that you see will produce enough cooking and drinking water for a family for a day. The area of those modules, they produce the equivalent of about 250 cc's of water, 250 cc's of rainfall per year equivalent. That's what our water production is. That's more rain than a rainforest. There's water to cover that agriculture in that space, and also a wider space as well. Our process also, in the course of the day, collects all the salt into a very concentrated brine, and we take that brine, put it in very small, thin layers in a pan to expose to the desert sun, and in 2 days, that salt is dry powdered salt. So there's no waste brine from our process. That makes it almost absolutely unique. Our process recovers over 90% of the incoming water from seawater as distilled water. It's very pure. You actually add minerals to it to use it for either farming or drinking. This kind of growth area in desert country can be made possible all over where there's empty desert and reasonable access to seawater. These are plants that can be grown out in the full sun. We also have the feature of the equipment itself producing partial shade so that more sensitive plants can be grown in those areas. Also, of course, the PV cells produce shade. So it's a win-win all the way around off-grid. And we really expect this to be the start of a major move in how to live, in a major change in how to live in the desert. The combination of this new water resource with affordable housing that Merlin is producing means that a homestead can take on a completely different look in places that are now considered not inhabitable. I mean, these homes are easily built, fairly quickly put together. They're sturdy, they'll stand up to the weather, and with a source of water from seawater, this project will grow enough food for a family, plus enough to sell and do some commercial selling of food, because there's that much water produced. So it's a fairly low impact infrastructure between the water and the housing, but it's a very, very powerful move by the way of food and livability. And the whole picture put together, house, water, and all, is the front end. Now, this is a demonstration of what can be a major industrial venture to water and housing. This site can be replicated by the thousands and increase food production, increase livability to these spaces, basically bring to what is now uninhabitable spaces food, water, and housing.